Well, nobody saw that move coming. What is going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Before I begin, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video, share this out with anyone you know. Lets me know that you are enjoying these types of videos, and I would greatly appreciate it. Just 12 subscribers away from 300, so if you can all help me get to that 300 number, it would mean a lot to me. And for everyone that has subscribed so far, thank you so much for your support. Now, a couple of moves went down. One big trade, and it was a signing. All right. So the signing yesterday was Keynan Middleton. He reached a deal with the St. Louis Cardinals. All right. The details of that contract hasn't come out yet. I was checking to see if there was any details on it. I didn't see anything, but it is pending a physical. Now, Keynan Middleton is a relief pitcher who pitched for the Chicago White Sox in the first half of 2023, and he was traded to the Yankees at the deadline and pitched well in the second half of the season. Definitely had some good stuff. You know, he pitched well for the White Sox, pitched well for the Yankees. I thought maybe the Yankees might, sign him back. It probably wasn't going to be too expensive to sign him back. I thought maybe they would get him back on the cheap, but instead he is now a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. All right, so a good pickup by the Cardinals. I wish Keynan Middleton well. I hope he continues succeeding with the Cardinals and any team if he plays for any team in the future. If he doesn't play for Cardinals after 2024. All right. Now let's get into the big blockbuster trade that went down last night. So a move that I'll speak for myself that I didn't see happening was a deal between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles. The Milwaukee Brewers traded their ace pitcher Corbin Burnes to the Baltimore Orioles for rookie infielder Joey Ortiz, left-hander DL Hall, and a draft pick. So their 34th overall draft pick. So the Orioles got Corbin Burnes, and the Milwaukee Brewers got infielder Joey Ortiz, left-hander DL Hall, and a 34th overall draft pick. Now, that was a shocker, right? Personally, I didn't see that move happening. And when I read that, at first it didn't make sense to me because I was saying, why would the Brewers trade their ace pitcher when they could very well be contenders and make it into the postseason? I'm not saying they were going to win the World Series, but they could have been contenders. They could have finished at the top of the division. But maybe they had maybe they changed their minds. Corbin Burnes could have been available for trade at the deadline. And the way, as I was thinking about it, the way I see it is he wasn't going to sign an extension with the Brewers. And if he was traded, Corbin Burnes made it known that he wasn't going to sign an extension with any team if he was to get traded. So whether he does or doesn't get traded, an extension was out of the question. But that could change with the Baltimore Orioles since they have new ownership now. That could very well change. But Corbin Burnes could still test the free agent market, which it is his right to do so. Okay. Now, for the Brewers, I would say they probably traded Burnes because they knew that they weren't going to be able to extend him. They knew that already, right? When he becomes a free agent, maybe they weren't going to be able to pay him the money that he was going to ask for. And he is a Scott Boras client. Let's not forget that. All right. So instead, they said, well, if he's not willing to sign an extension, we're probably not going to be contenders to sign him during free agency, right? So let's trade him. Let's get something back. And who better than the Orioles, right? The Orioles have the best farm system in all of baseball. They're excellent at developing players, and the Orioles could afford to give up some players in a trade if they were in a need. And they were in need of a pitcher, and they got their pitcher in Corbin Burns. Now they did trade away one of their infielders in Joey Ortiz, who was blocked. So, there was no room for him. So they traded him to the Brewers, which he'll probably be competing for a spot in the infield. All right. And the Brewers already have a solid infield. So they're adding Joey Ortiz. It just kind of solidifies that. Right. And then they added left-hander DL Hall, who is supposed to be a promising pitcher. And then, they got a 34th pick from the Orioles. All right. So they got something back. They were able to get something good back. The Brewers. I know it may seem like the Brewers may have gotten fleeced by the Orioles. Could be. The Brewers could still, without Burns, they could still be contenders, right? The NL Central is a tricky one. There's really not a team you can say that is going to for sure finish at the top of the division. Now, I know in some of my other videos, I said that I've predicted that the Brewers could finish at the top of the division, but that was with Corbin Burns being on the team. That could very well change now, right? I think the NL Central now, with Corbin Burns being gone, is up for grabs, right? It's definitely up for grabs, but the Brewers could still finish at the top of the division. Without Corbin Burns, they still have a pretty decent team. So we'll see what happens. Now, with the Orioles, they won 101 games last season, right? They have a very successful team, right? Great farm system, great at player development. Kudos to them. You can't. What can you say? Kudos to the Orioles. So they're certainly going to be contenders this year. Even without Corbin Burns, they were going to be contenders this year. But now with Corbin Burns, they're going to be a little scarier now to deal with in the AL East. So, it's going to come down to them and the Yankees fighting for that top spot. The Yankees have made some moves, but the Orioles already had a team. But again, adding Corbin Burns now to their starting rotation is going to make that starting rotation that much better. But remember, the Orioles only have Corbin Burns for 1 year, right? He's a 1-year rental. Okay. He's going to be a free agent, and we don't know if he will sign back with the Orioles. Okay. Corbin Burns said he wants to test the free agent market. So, and he wants to see what kind of contract he could get. Scott Boras is his agent. So, Scott Boras is going to try and get the most money he can for his client, which he is very good at doing. But as I said earlier, with this new ownership that the Orioles have right now, they could talk extension with him. Maybe they can change his mind. If they make him an offer that he can't refuse, I could see him signing in an extension with the Orioles. But we'll just have to wait and see. All right. So that was the big move that went down last night. It was a good move by the Orioles. I mean, you can't hate on that move whatsoever. They played their cards right. And again, with the Orioles, they were able to give up a couple of those names and a draft pick because they're so loaded in their farm system that they have just a lot of talent. So they were able to give up a couple of those guys, and they were able to give up that draft pick. Their infielder, Joey Ortiz, who they gave up in that trade, was blocked, so he had nowhere to play. So it only made sense for the Orioles to trade him. Okay. So that's the news right now. Okay. That was big news. Again, nobody expected that. I'm sure none of us really expected that. If any other news comes out, I'll definitely let you know. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this out with anyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time.